How's it going?
Not too bad. Marcus here.
I think he went to go get his food or something. He'll be back.
Yeah, I just got back. I just have to pull my food out of the what's that called? The oven. That's what it is.
The old hot box.
Marcus, in your dabblings with Unreal 5, is there a photon equivalent for Unreal?
I haven't messed around with it, but there are references to built-in networking. Like it's part of Unreal.
So you wouldn't even need a plugin. It's just part of the.
It might be like a Unreal plugin that you have to enable, but it seems like there's like default components that are already networking ready.
Gotcha.
It's like totally a thing people have wanted from Unity, but Unity kind of stopped doing it. Stopped developing theirs, and to be fair, they did open source everything that they had worked on, but then they just left it to the community to keep up to where.
Is that the one? Is that the stuff you used for the?
Yeah, it has the stealth.
Yeah,
game.
the stealing stealth game thing.
That has mirror networking, and that was it's good. It definitely works well enough for what you need to do. But it would be nice if it was like already integrated and just integrated more of the engine level. But we'll see where Unity winds up going with the fucking former head of EA running it. And EA is notorious for being a fucking shit company.
Yeah.
But I'm sure the Unity developers, the ones that make the engine and stuff, are still good. Still care about making cool stuff.
Alright. So should I pull? Did you push a version?
Yeah, I pushed
the new
the thing with the fizzle, and it works pretty well from what I can tell.
And all the other symbols are trained to be the same, you know.
Yeah, I didn't mess with them at all. I just made them identical. And like the best part about this too is like I'm using a like the model will never get bigger basically unless we decide to change the way we approach this. Like if we did the individual a classifier for each individual symbol thing, then that would be way bigger. But this model isn't going to be bigger than it is. It's because I'm doing the transfer learning thing. It'll just and it seems to be training perfectly well with 3 symbols. So the question really is, where do we reach saturation? How many symbols can it handle and differentiate? Which I imagine are gonna be a lot, because I think this thing was trained on. Let's find out. BGG 16 class. Output. Maybe that's what I should
Fuck.
1,000 different categories is what it was trained on. The original model.
1,000
originally, yeah.
1,000 different, like, wait, so there's 1,000 different shapes we could be using just from that,
Well, no, so the original architecture, VGG 16, was used to, is trained on 1,000 images of 1,000 different category, each in 1,000 different categories. Though I would imagine it would actually be more images than that it was trained on. This might be able to classify how I guess this is just a weird way of phrasing what this person's writing. I think it was trained on way more than that. But anyway, the point is, it can predict 1,000 different categories with 92.7% accuracy. I only trained it to retrained it to like focus on the 4, you know, the triangle, square, circle, fizzle. But theoretically, the model is big enough, dense enough to be able to handle up to 1,000 classes with still pretty decent 9 out of 10 accuracy. But obviously, we'd never get that far. But that being said, that model is also leveraging aspects like color differences probably. So we probably realistically, with just black and white images, we'd be getting slightly less than that.
Gotcha. So how will I tell if a here, let me stream to Discord.
I think I left the debug shit on, so you can see what it's classifying it as, and you can see the probabilities. But it's easy enough to turn off and on when you need to.
Okay, so it'll be in the console, presumably. So if I did like a happy face, what would it classify as? I mean, it might get a circle for this.
Maybe I didn't leave the debugs. Oh, you know what? I probably didn't save the level. Maybe I did. Go to drawing. Open it up on the hierarchy there.
Like, or sorry, what do you mean open it up?
Like uncollapse it.
Oh yeah. I see.
Go to where's the classifier? Why don't you have a classifier?
I did have these 5 changes stashed, which I don't even need at all.
Those are just meta files.
I fetched.
That is where the classifier goes. Hold on, let me double check that is where the classifier goes. Drawing. Oh, the classifier is the draw controller. Never mind. I thought I had a different object. Just click on the draw controller. Debug's on. Yeah, I don't know why it didn't trigger for you. Try drawing again.
Hold on, is this collapsed or something? Yeah, right. Okay.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you had.
Okay, that did fizzle. Right on. What about if I do?
So it looks like it mostly 30 fizzle. They're not in percentages.
If I draw a house.
Oh, this will be interesting. I did not account for that.
This actually has a triangle in it.
It has 2 of the symbols, yeah, so it's gonna pick 1. I didn't account for that, but we could try to account for that.
Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I'm willing to forego, like, you know, being able to draw more complex symbols. I'm willing to forego, like, you might disagree strongly with this, but like I'm the more I'm willing to forego allowing a second button to be, like, having a second button be held down until then let go. I think it should just be when you let go of your click, it classifies. I thought about other ways, like what if we literally like looked at what the player was looking at and tried to classify within there, but that'd be way too complicated. But like I do think in the end I'm willing to forego, you know, more complex symbols, or at least or we could do like the stepwise method of, like, okay, you draw this and then have this classification and then this classification and this one in a certain relative to position to each other, and that's how it ultimately classifies the thing. But I think in terms of like when it runs the classify script, I'm totally down to just have everything have to be drawn in one swoop without lifting up your.
I think the only problem I see with that is, well, is can we come up with fun enough things to draw that are distinct enough that people won't just guess? Like when you can lift your pen and keep going, that sort of like really explodes, you know, exponentially increases the number of possible symbols you can have with differentiation in them. But I am not necessarily opposed to the idea of a one stroke. We talked about this in the very beginning.
Yeah, I think most of the stuff that's gonna feel good to do. So, here's the way I'm looking at it. Actually, is like if the rune needs to be something that has to be that can be done quickly, the symbol should be, you know, a one swoop symbol. But if it's something like the duplicate rune, I think is fine. If we wanted to have the duplicate rune be like triangle. And it considers that it might be this rune, and then, you know, circle and circle. This is a simplified version. We can make it something prettier or better. But like, if you wanted to have those three classifications be the, you know, the duplicate, I guess the combine in this case rune, or maybe duplicate. Hard to tell. Maybe the symbol is just boom dash or boom dash dash. Even that's kind of hard. Anything inside is kind of hard.
Yeah, turn off your collapse so I can see what these things are actually classifying on your screen, because you have collapse on, so they...
Sorry.
Click that again, it's on the left, yeah. That's probably just the thing where for some reason the duplicate won't duplicate, or errors if it tries to duplicate you.
Most of them fizzle. New line fizzle.
New line is just you releasing the mouse button. I should turn that off.
Do you want me to go in and turn off everything except for classify?
I mean, it's fine as long as you have that collapse off, and then you
Okay.
and your thing's on the bottom, we'll be able to see it in real time. We could probably also make a thing that debugs it like to the screen or something.
I can do that. I meant for the active, like the first prototype of the activate script to put like inactive or active above, or you know, above every rune. So that'd be a similar thing to that. But yeah. So basically, I'd like. Here's a goal I think I'd like to have for this meeting is like to for the 3 runes we know we have and their configurations, decide what we, like I guess we don't have to do this. We can move forward level and prototyping and doing levels and stuff without it. But I'd like to, like, you know, finalize the way they look. That would be nice.
Yeah, well, we won't finalize the way they look until the end of the game, but
or rather, finalize the way they look for. Begin to test these, like whether it should be done in, you know, one swoop or this unfolding sort of model, like one multi-step classification or whatever. Like I'd like to put, you know, to A/B test those with
so
symbols.
I mean, we basically have a single swoop model now with the, you know, with
what we are
triangle,
using,
square, circle, because that's just how they work. Though it is easier to draw big things with the multiple. That's the only other reason why it's almost like we almost have to go multi-level, is if you want to draw a real big square. It's hard to do that without being able to let go, so you can really align yourself.
Actually, maybe slowing down. I have it on my mouse here. Maybe just something as simple as slowing down how fast you can turn and move will make the drawing feel much better or worse.
I don't have a problem with the drawing. Maybe your mouse sensitivity is different than mine. Your drawing looks, for some reason, your drawing looks more erratic, less smooth than mine does. I don't know if you can see,
Well, right now I'm messing with the sensitivity on my mouse, so it's kind
but
of...
just or maybe it's just the compression on the stream. But those lines to me look like wobbly. Do they look wobbly to you? Like even a straight line just looks like like it has jaggies on the side.
Let me just draw a straight line.
Does that look like it has jaggies, or is this just the anti-aliasing of the compression of the stream?
I don't know. It
I
I guess
mean-
it does have in the. If I look real close, it's like I can see the pixel. You know.
Okay, only
the
if you look
jagged
real close.
pixels.
It must be the compression on the stream then, because it looks very jagged.
You could look on my on the Twitch stream. It's better
I'll look
resolution
at
if you
that.
want, but it'll be behind.
Yeah,
I think it's the stream because you can see like the artifacts around it too.
yeah,
If
yeah. I
you
think.
stop for a minute, yeah.
Maybe a script.
Oh, it's happening on your Twitch stream too. Interesting.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, totally happening on your Twitch.
Actually,
stream. guess
my
is it's
Twitch
just the
stream yesterday was
anti-aliasing.
fucking terrible. I wonder if something had like it had such poor quality. Let me go back and I'm not gonna do that right now. But it might be. I might just be something in OBS might be off, or if it's
There's some kind of like anti-aliasing going on that it doesn't, or rather non-anti-aliasing going on in your compress. Like it compresses and uncompresses, and when it
That's
uncompresses,
unfortunate.
those straight lines don't look smooth anymore.
Let me real quick.
Does mine also look that way? That's a good. That's what I should check. Let's see.
I'll use that.
It's hard to check.
Yeah, I don't know. My stream yesterday was really.
Mine looks like
struggling
a
in
little bit
parts.
too. Yeah, mine has the same jaggies. I think it's just the way compression works in game streaming.
Anyhow. Part of me is like, maybe I should make a script that when you go into like draw mode, but then that's an argument for the 2-button model again. But like, just like make it real, make you have more granularity, or like change the way your mouse input actually works. But I don't want to do that. Let's just work with what we have. I will say the best sensitivity is slightly lower than what I would do for a shooter, just very slightly. But I'll leave that up to the person, I guess. But like,
yeah, I don't think the draw, like maybe it's just because I've done it so much, but like because I literally have drawn hundreds of these at this point. You know, just to get the. Oh shit, that's just colliding with an object constantly. You know, just to get the fucking thing trained, I drew 100 of each of them and then augmented them and made 1,000 of them out through code. But yeah, because I've done it so much, I might just be used to it, and it feels good to me to draw. But that might be a learned skill. It'd be good to get like someone like Jeff or Dave to try it out, someone who hasn't really been playing with it.
I mean, I could draw a
See how it
satisfactory
feels.
drawing with it for sure.
Jeff, you have the you're on the Git for this, right?
I think so.
I think the jaggies might actually just be there in the editor. The more I'm looking at them, I'm seeing them for sure.
I don't think you are like
Appreciating
there are
how
obviously
jaggy.
jaggies, but I don't think you are understanding how jaggy it looks on the stream. There are like some jaggies, because like what I do when I make these lines is they're just line segments attached to each other, basically between the points. So you get like a resolution. We could actually technically, I think on the draw controller, if we go to
We're only seeing your scene,
Is this necro
which is kind of
skull
fine actually. It's
64?
cool looking, just make sure you're on camera, I guess.
Can you see it? What about when I click?
Now it's your hierarchy.
Okay.
Now it's your
It's
game.
weird. You're showing. That's so weird. Anyway, there's a way to do not line offset factor, min sphere points. I forget what the fuck it is. Maybe it's the line offset factor. If I put that down to 0.05, do I get more points? Let's make that 1. Real fucking just see. Not that. That's not it. It might be hard coded.
Jeff, you should try to load into here and draw. Can get a version of the game been running.
Is it Necro Skull?
No, it is runes.
I'm not on that yet.
How are you not?
I don't think so.
Let me add you.
I had to do something to put it on mine. It didn't automatically show up.
Maybe I have to go to the website.
Possible.
But like, we could start just to talk concretely and not theoretically about something, and on something that we can actually have input on, yeah, and Jeff could have input on too. Is so let's start with the size changing rune. I still want it to be essentially function as, you know, you draw something circular and you get as big as that or as small as that circle. One configuration, it's a one configuration rune in that regard. So it can have 2 outcomes, but you draw one thing for those 2 outcomes. And obviously we can't make it just a circle. That's the first thing almost anyone is going to draw in some form or another. So like, what do we
could do the spiral. Like we could that it could probably be
That
differentiated.
was my original
I think I put
idea.
the spiral. Check the spiral. I thought I put some spirals as
even
in there.
even a straight spiral though, I feel will be
Found pretty quickly.
will be found.
But that
yeah.
could be that could be the base. You know, that could be the first thing we train people on. Then.
Well, I was thinking, yeah, actually, I've always been between that and what's it called? Repel attract as the first. And I was thinking that because I thought it would be neat. The more you were thinking, I was thinking about the things on the feet of the lizards. The more I was thinking, actually, what if there's a room that's relatively hidden in the tutorial area that
Jeff, I added you to the thing. You should see it.
or some early area. It doesn't have to be the tutorial area with the lizards, and it's a hidden room, and then all the room is a glass wall peering out into the part of the caves or the part of the area where the lizards are. And you're like, what the fuck is this for? But eventually, if you wait there,
the lizards are climbing on, and you'll see
it from from the glass on the other side. I think putting a room like that has no secret in
cool.
it would be really, and having them learn that way would be really neat. So maybe I do. Maybe you get out of the, and this is a banger rune to start with. It's the most, it's very eye-catching watching another thing grow. So maybe we tutorialize by having them grow something else and let them player walk into it, and maybe they can get out by. I'd have to redesign the tutorial area. So the tutorial area now looks like this. I don't know if I shared my screen or my Blender, but if you might be able to see, I might have done screen. Still have to finish it, but this is what I would say is like the white box of the area. I still haven't decided which of these 2 rooms is which, but thank you. But originally, this is the room where you're supposed to leave from, and there was going to be a door up here and a bunch of platforms and a bunch of lizards crawling all over the place, and you were going to have to lure one of the lizards with lizard's food that you get out of a gumball machine that says food for my babies on it, on a piece of duct tape.
I like the glass idea a lot, though. More so, honestly. I mean, we could still do the lizard gumball thing, but I think the glass idea.
Lizard
is
gumball
just-
thing is just like world flavor, and it
Yeah.
teaches you how to pick things up too. It's nice to do that before we leave this area. I want it to be filled with like giant dried out beetles, and then you could pick them up and carry them around, and the lizards would come to you if you had one, and then you could eat it to absorb its power. If we're doing that, anyway, I do think
it would be very nice though to like have this and the 2 control schemes done. Like maybe have and then have it like test with if we
controller.
could, like yeah, well, not with control. Well, test with like people, maybe at like PGM or something. Like
Oh,
like
okay.
have them try it and be like, hey, which control scheme do you like the best? Or like, you know, did the controls feel good, and have an A and B group kind of thing.
But do 2 different control schemes for mouse and keyboard? Or are we locking? I would be fine with locking
Yeah.
people to only mouse and keyboard input on this because it's so important.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would eventually go to controller if we had any kind of success, but
Might have to literally
should.
change the runes for controller depending on what they how complicated some of them are. They should probably be fine though if they're simple.
Not necessarily. Yeah, it just if that's part of the reason why you treat it like a gun, right? Everyone knows how to use a gun, and everyone's played a shooting game. That's at least in my mentality. That's why that's part of the reason why you treat it like a gun. But yeah, it probably would feel pretty shitty to play on a controller. Anyhow, I would say it would be nice to test those out. But in terms of things that we can actually do, like the spiral, very simple to draw. People will guess it, but if we make it the first one,
It does
then who
fizzle
cares?
actually now. That's impressive. It's good.
Yeah, well, I specifically put the spiral in as a fizzle. Basically, it seems like anything that we put in to the fizzle class, within reason, is like I did the triangle with missing a side, that should fizzle. Maybe not if it's like really close. Let's see. Yeah, it still seems to fizzle. The square missing a side fizzles. Lines obviously fizzle. I wonder if the
Do you think it could
circle
get
would-
precise enough to do? You have to do for a class. You have to do a spiral with exactly 4 layers from beginning to end, where the beginning and end at the same point, like something that specific.
It is possible. It's possible. That is a thing I'd have to test, but it would definitely be possible as long as we had lots of data of wrong spirals, like that we need to make essentially lots of data showing that a 3 and 2 and 1 and 5 and 6 layer spiral is not correct.
Because to my mind, there's 2 ways you can go with it. You can either do that so that it's like it's specific enough that they've learned it and are not just guessing it, or maybe we don't care if it's the first one. Or you do a less precise spiral with something else to identify, like a spiral in a crescent moon.
Spiral in a box.
Spiral in a box, sure.
No, that'd be a bad one, but spiral in a box actually does create a rune, it looks like.
Or maybe just like something on the end of it, like
Oh no, it doesn't matter. That one spiral in the box created a rune. But...
end is an eyeball. Like that, so it looks kind of like a little snail.
That looks cool.
Let's just make it a snail.
I tend to lean weirdly towards things as I'm drawing, things that look like music, like formal music
Music notes.
annotation.
I would like them to have a a style in that way, like their flourishes and stuff to all have a similar style, but that's secondary to just...
Like cursive or just something like, yeah. Like this, something like this. And that was one of the things
I do
where
like
like
that one.
the single line draw thing is nice because that feels good to draw. You know. Yeah, Jeff, if you are on this and here, how about we just do an arrow?
I'm trying to like make the repository show up on the desktop and not in just.
I think if you go to the GitHub, sorry, close GitHub, hold on. If you go to GitHub and then go to the repo.
Oh wait, I got it.
Yeah, there should be like add to GitHub desktop or something.
Yeah.
So I think that I wouldn't mind doing that one for Attract Repel, actually, that one. If it's how quick can you draw it?
This thing, so that looks a little uglier.
It's downloading.
So you do a line up in sort of like a P shape, and then back and across.
Feels kind of cool to do.
It does feel cool. I feel like it's a little too long. I want Attract Repel to be something specific, but so quick to draw that you could do it jumping in midair. I think that would be a little hard, because especially because the up flourish and the down part, but like...
Yeah, let's see here.
But maybe that one for the,
I mean, we could give the people like a weird stop time, slow down motion thing.
That's
If
true.
we thought that was cool, like which I think could be cool if we want to make part of it like give people the ability to feel action platformer without making it action platformer demanding.
I think I don't want to make it action platformer demanding, but I think there should be a little bit of platforming in this.
Yeah, I agree, and I think if we could give them a slowdown ability that makes that stuff easier, and then if we have like if we have enemies, quote unquote, that like you can turn off by putting a cross on them or whatever, then that makes the enemies kind of cooler to interact with, because you can, you'll engage them quickly, and you'll have some level of safety by being able to.
Ooh, I found one I like. This is the best one to draw so far, I think. What did I just do even? This one felt good real good to draw. What did I do?
The anarchy symbol.
I did like a triangle, like a triangle where you go way too far on the top point, kinda, and you start from off the triangle. So boom, boom, boom.
I like that. That does feel good. I mean, just like the half an hourglass symbol thing feels good to do.
Boom, boom, boom,
and
then
if you
maybe
want
like
to,
a dash.
make that complicated, I mean, you could just do this. The half of the, you don't have to do the full. Oh, I see. Hold on. So you're doing this, like almost like a, yeah. This is very close to a star or anarchy symbol, right?
And I think it looks nice and it's quick and it feels good to draw. Yeah. So basically, I'm stopping after the.
It's this, right? Is that wrong? I think
Just
I got
4 lines.
One.
Yeah, mine I'm doing it
three,
in.
4, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm going down, right, up, down, left, hard. So down, right, up, down, left. Or sorry, down, right.
It's like an X with a side on it.
Yeah, I think of it as a triangle with 2 antennas. If you turn it 90 degrees, but.
That's all. Oh, you know.
Oh wait, so. Sorry, go ahead.
Dash. Boom, boom, boom.
Like drawing, like looking at the ground diagonally, is gonna make things like stretched out.
Yes,
So,
yeah. That's always going to be an issue, but it doesn't matter for the classifier,
right? Because we draw the images in game. Like I have something that a switch you turn on to save that to disk, and those are the images I train on. So as long as we're training on them, it doesn't matter. basically the what the. Let me see if I can get to the camera. I hate this fucking. I need to turn off this zoom in the camera controller. I hate it. This is what you see, what the camera sees, Jeff. So if I'm. Oh wait, you probably can't see it because I'm streaming my thing, but I can't fucking, for whatever reason, Discord can't handle my screen share. It makes it all wash out.
A lot of chop.
This actually I like better. Just a dot in the middle. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, that was weird.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh, that's hard.
So you can, so this is like, I don't know if you can see this, Jeff.
Yeah,
it might not
yeah, I
look
can
visible, but you can see the
Yeah,
way that's what the camera sees. And basically, when I train on these, I take the picture itself and rotate it 1,000 times and copy it and rotate it and copy it and rotate it, and like recolor it and stuff. That way, there is no way for orientation to get in the way. So I don't have to figure out how to orient it properly. I can just. I also have something I really like walking around and seeing all the shit I draw on the
Yeah,
ground.
it's fun. Just having that, like, just drawing on the ground made me think. No matter what, we should
like a crazy
we should
person.
make it so that when like your drawings don't disappear with time, and we should try and hold as many of them in memory as we possibly can get away with, because it is really
We'll have to
cool
see, yeah.
to see all the shit you've drawn. Just
It's
around.
like that person drawing like that crazy person in a prison cell kind of aesthetic, right?
Yes, yeah, 100%. It adds to what I feel like we're going for here in a big way.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff. Once you have it downloaded, because I think it'll take a little while, because it's a big repo and that model is a big model.
I guess also I should.
But if you want to get in
the
here
other thing I'm downloading
as the resident, if it doesn't happen tonight, no worries. But it would be awesome if you could get in here as a resident drawer and designer.
What are
and,
some other
see-
runes? What can we try? What can we do for the swoopy symbol? Because I don't think it fits. I like the spiral for the grow. Also,
Spiral for the grow is nice and easy. People guess it. Worst case scenario, who cares? We can make that an easy the starter puzzle. The swoopy thing is what was it? This is kind of like a stanchion or what is the fucking thing? The staff symbol. Well, we could just do it. I like this, Chris. Where clef. Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Where we don't have the last piece.
yeah,
to it,
I think that's easier.
That and an S.
Let me see how that feels.
Also, we could just do an S, like a dollar symbol if we want, but I like it being one motion. What else we got here? What are other options? We should. Sammy was saying, not recently, but she's saying we should train a penis, like a bunch, just so because we know people are gonna draw it.
Yes, yeah, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. There should be a joke, like it should just go boing and then disappear or something, and that's it.
Yeah. Or just like explode in a bunch of goo.
That's what. Oh, if you do it like if you keep doing it, right? That's the goo happens. Fuck yes. That's a fantastic idea. That is a really good idea.
But yeah, we could do cool stuff like an eyeball. Look, I wonder if we could. Is there a way to do an eyeball easily? Like, is there an easy representation for an eyeball to draw?
Simplest is
oval
just
with a circle in it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually not super easy to draw. I like Chris's better.
I like this.
like
This is
Egyptian
fun.
eyeball?
Like
Yeah.
a fun swoop thing here,
Like
a
Egyptian.
circle, and then maybe I'm
almost.
not sure what for this last stroke. Maybe something fun to do.
Yeah, I like that. Not that we have any symbol that fits that right now, but it does feel good to draw.
The eyeball was for invisible self.
I mean,
right?
that we
Or
have anything
oh, programmed.
programmed for.
Yeah. The interesting thing about the spiral actually is if I want to draw it on these things without putting them on it, right? I might have to make something like this.
Yeah, you would.
That could be a thing.
We also need to figure out what happens when you draw things on things that are, and actually that's something that is not technically even programmed in well right now. Like, you know, if I draw on an apple, that's something I'll have to get fixed before. That's actually probably what I should work on next. Is like, okay, I drew on this, this cauldron, but when I move the cauldron, the lines don't move with it. That should be.
You could
simple
just
enough.
have it work how it works and identify all the things that are not ground, anything that's not like draw layer, what we will eventually call draw layer, and like just have it enter a state where it's stable as long as those things are there. But if any of those things are moved, it just poofs away immediately.
Yeah, that would be actually a great idea. I think that's so much easier than me having to figure out, like,
moving and stuff.
yeah, because the rune is going to be one game object, but then
I will
parts
say
of it will be
though,
split across different things.
like there's a huge, I get it if we can't do it because it would be a lot for figuring out, but like I would love puzzles where like there's moving platforms and you draw a section of a symbol on them, and then when they
And
come
you line up.
together,
That's a good puzzle. We should figure it out.
but like that kind of, but part of me is like, well then that calls into question like why doesn't everything that move follow that? Oh, we could just do a special case for that puzzle and those things, but like ultimately,
there is like a question of yeah, like if we don't have an activation button where you click to activate, then that puzzle gets harder to achieve because to do things efficiently, we only classify once, and that is classifying, you know, at the end of the drawing, right? If we're running the classifier every step on every drawing, then this game doesn't work. It's too slow.
Yeah.
The classifier is fast, but it's not that fast. You know, a benefit of models are that like the trade-off is memory, not speed. They are fast as hell to run. That's why like ChatGPT can fucking respond to you in seconds, right? It's you feed it data, and it would be way faster if it was running locally on your computer. If it didn't have to worry about, you know, going through some sort of server processing. Yeah, there's if we decide that an activate button is better, then that works. If we go with the control scheme of one button to draw, a different button to activate. Because then at that point your hand becomes a camera, and we have to solve the problem of, okay, where do I put the camera? Is it your view? What is it? You know?
Wait, sorry.
We could do it
Repeat
with-
that. Repeat everything you just said from like 3 sentences ago.
So if you do the if we're doing the activate button, the problem with that is going to be when we hit the activate button, where do we put the camera? Is it just going to be your view? That might feel shitty if you're trying to draw, like if maybe your view only caught the last second of it or something, right? We could do it based on the normals of all the things in an area around, but that might get weird too.
This is the part I'm not understanding. So the way I conceptualize the activate rune is like, you know, I draw this, I hit E, and if I have juice, it lights up.
But where am I putting the camera? How does the camera know which way to face? right now it knows because it goes on the drawing, but when I have multiple drawings,
Oh, okay, that camera. Okay.
then we could have like that works fine for like this simple case right here, right? These multiple drawings averages out,
I'm
it's
fine
fine.
to not have
But
an
what if that's like
activate.
a
I'm
yeah.
fine to not have an activate button. I'm fine
Then
to
the
just have
activate
it.
button, then the moving thing doesn't work, like the moving platform things, because if we don't have an activate button, then we can't be waiting for these. We have to figure out another way for the symbols to either track when the symbols align, or because we can't run the like we were saying before, we can't run the classifier on all runes at all the time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is what originally led me to thinking maybe we should do it from the player's perspective, and then you could have different things like you know, that like different you might be able to fit in a pretty easy one symbol becomes another thing like we had talked about, but I
That
don't
might feel
know.
shitty too, though, if you're like, if like, oh, I just didn't get the right camera angle for this thing to
Even so,
classify
even with that
properly.
one puzzle, we could just do special case thing for where drawing on those things, just like the special world, room puzzles that we sort of talked about that are like unique drawing puzzles that don't really have to do with the symbols, that have to do with representing the environment through a drawing somehow.
Yeah, because like we know the solution, so we can just say, okay, when these three platforms come together, we're gonna take a picture and
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm fine with that, making that concession and having no activate button. Honestly, I think it should just classify. I think it should be a multi-stage classification thing, but some things, like for example, so the grow one, I'm totally fine with having be something like this, where it's total of 4 loops from beginning to end, and it's a spiral shape, and that's grow shrink. Then maybe something like this for duplicate combine. So it's a boom 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 1, and then duke for so and at this point of drawing this, it says this is a duplicate combine rune, and then at the point of drawing 1 dot or 2 dots, the question, oh, but then if you draw 1, when does it know not to? How does it know to go? It needs to be something better than that inside. So maybe we go with the line. Again.
The dot could work as long as we train it properly.
Yeah, but when does it? If it's classifying based on a part-based thing, boom, boom, boom. I draw this, right, and it knows it's duplicate combine. Now I draw a 1 dot, and now how does it know not to classify yet as this, and to wait for me to go to this if I'm doing that one?
Wait, what are the different dots represent? Different dot numbers.
So whether this would be a duplicate, and this would be, or sorry, I guess this would be a duplicate, and this would be a combine.
Okay, so you want a distinct one for each of them. Yeah, we kind of talked about that. Well, I mean that would be the if we were doing it the way that we have been doing it, then that would just be as simple as, well, when you release the button, right?
That's what it is right now, but I'm saying if we go to a model that, if we get rid of activation,
yeah, if we get rid of activation,
just have it classify upon
drawing model, then we can't do that. That doesn't work. Like dots you can't have dots, basically. I think if we go to the no release button, then there's a so I guess there are 3 possibilities, right? There is a distinct activate button, there is activate on release, and there is activate on release of the right, I guess activate on left click, or activate release, or activate on right click release, right? So then that lets you, the activate on right click release is what we have now. Activate on left click release, it means everything is single swoop drawings, single line drawings, which feel good to do, so there's nothing wrong with that. And then there's the, like, oh, I hit spacebar or hit E to activate, to use my activate ability, and then that's the one with the one that we least like, where you have to figure out where the camera goes and all that other shit. So we can do either of them, but
Can
for
you just
now,
always have the camera be orientated where it was when the player drew the last dot in their last drawing?
well, things might get weird if you're on like a rocky surface or whatever, and like
Yeah.
it'll always, you could definitely have it just go to the normal of the last drawn thing, but that could get funky. That's why like the benefit of the current one is that it should be using the average normal in the rune across all of them
Hmm.
to define where it takes its picture, so it kind of gets its best guess of where the line should be. Definitely need to improve the way the mesh works at seams.
I will say I like drawing these two symbols for the duplicate combine. I feel like they feel good to draw.
I mean, we definitely can do the let's see here. We could do something like this, right? And then we might be able to identify like where this is, this part is, or we could even do something like this, and the dots on the outside, and this is the duplicate part, and these are the combined parts, and it just depends on which side of the thing you put it in, because we can find the point, that is closest to the.
Oh yeah,
the
that's true. You could put the dot in a different spot to differentiate and have the alignment be different. That's not a bad idea.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
When I start this in Unity, it says this project is using the new input system
Hit no.
package. But
No, yeah, we will fix that at some point. I just have not been. It's gonna be a whole thing. We're gonna have to redo our inputs and stuff.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, we could even just like you said, just have the dot either be outside the thing or inside the thing. Inside maybe is combine, outside is separate. Or whatever.
Yeah, I like that. That's a great idea. So in that way, I'm down to have it be like a class, still, one click for both things, right? Like just, for the spiral, and then one click for drawing the triangle, right? And release, and then it says this is going to be one of these two runes. I'm waiting to hear what the other thing, and then the drawing the second thing is the activate, and for the like spiral, it'll just activate if you get it right, and that'll be easy to tutorialize. I'm down to do it that way, but I'm happy
I
to hear
still
other
prefer
opinions.
the right click, the gun method. It's easy from a programming standpoint. It's easy from a user understandability or understanding, like user conceptualization, I guess.
If there were anything with projectiles that you did in this game, I would kind of agree, but I don't necessarily think that like the player who's going to be drawn to this game is going to have that conception about, first-person shooters in their head. It is a first-person game, so maybe I'm wrong about that.
Every single
but like,
person that would be interested in this probably also has played a first-person shooter. One thing that we
I don't
have
know.
to fix though is how we define these corners.
Yeah, I will have to totally redo for the prototype, and for like making areas and stuff. I'm just gonna do we'll keep it as triangle and circle. They're close enough for now, but eventually, yeah, I'll have to totally redo the triangle for like the third or fourth
I think
time.
I have some. I fixed the bug in it. We have the right the strategy worked. It was just that there was a bug in the code. There's all the problem. Was all that was a problem with that. So the strategy was solid. So conceptually, we should be able to pretty easily do it again.
Well, we don't really we may be. So if it's a duplicate in this configuration that where like inside is duplicate and one's combined, or whichever, the other way around. So where would you align the things to be duplicated and combined in either configuration?
I feel like if you want something to be duplicated, you put it here.
Okay.
Right there. And if you want things to be combined, you put them on each of the sides here. Maybe that's how we should figure out the dots, actually. Maybe we should do something like, though, because actually maybe it's cooler for the combined to have you put things here and here, and then it just appears in the middle of the triangle.
That's the way I pictured it. But
And then the duplicate would just be the same thing. You put it, you know, here, and then it comes out to the edges here.
okay, got it. So in that case,
So then we only need to find.
honestly, we could
We don't
probably
need to
just take the
find-
if we anyone who's gonna draw that first part of that symbol is just gonna is gonna have the first and last line be the points which the you know
The first and last points be the. Yeah, we can do that if we can find a more foolproof way to get the asshole that's gonna do this. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I
We
do.
need to,
You
account
brought
for
this up
that
before. Like maybe we should tutorialize them about each individual swoop, and I'm trying to avoid that, but maybe that might have to be done depending on how we do this in the end.
Like if we make the swoop count matter, then that like it does add an extra layer of, oh, I fucked up. I didn't like I didn't stumble into this because I had the wrong count, basically.
Yeah.
But it is hard to. It'll be hard to teach people that.
Another
if
reason
they're,
I
like,
think
just
the
looking at a. Sorry, go ahead.
sorry, no, I interrupted you. You go ahead.
I was just saying it'll hard be to teach people that if like you're just looking at a fucking lizard foot, how are you gonna know how many swoops to do?
Yeah, I think doing that's another reason I think the spiral as the first thing and having the exactly 4 is a good thing, because it teaches you right away that like the details matter in this thing, like the number of swoops, where the beginning and end of the spiral, and I think we should just straight up show them the symbol, right? And they have to reproduce it and until they get it right. Like that's the one rune we'll do that with. Basically, and everything. We have to teach that and teach that. Okay, from here on out, these are going to be in the environment.
Yeah. We and if people have too much trouble with it, I wonder if we could, I don't know, have something like you're drawing this on like a table that shows you the rune, and as you draw around it shows like, oh, that's 1 loop, 2 loop, 3 loop, and you get some sort of feedback per as you're drawing it, just like confirm to show you why it thinks that this is a thing, but maybe not. I don't know. Figure that out.
It would kind of be interesting if when you were just drawing them out in the world, you got feedback at certain points to tell you you've done up to here correctly on at least 1 rune. That's kind of an interesting idea.
Yeah, we would have to change our approach. Basically, it would not be, honestly, at that point you're not even doing a classifier game. You're doing a shapes. All shapes would need to be mathematically identifiable, which isn't impossible, but much harder to do. Because you're not gonna run the classifier every second on what you're. I mean, even then, you probably could actually run the classifier every step if it's only one thing you're drawing. But then, like, how, is the classifier gonna know? How we train a classifier to know the steps to drawing things is a little bit harder to do. There's probably a way to do it, but it's a lot more research, a lot more time. I don't know how to do it off the top of my head. It would be like it'd be like classification and time order.
Well, we don't have to do that.
chronological.
You're just saying to do something like that for teaching the first rune?
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't think it actually makes a ton of sense because we'd never use that mechanic again, and not not everything will be easy like that to do that with. So
Honestly, the
it
stuff
doesn't
like
make
that, I
sense.
figured there'd be like, yeah, how I really pictured it in the tutorial is like you find the journal, and the journal on the first 2 pages has like diagrams that are like basically hints to like why you might be doing it wrong. Like oh, here, like like a little 4, and it points towards one of the loops on one of the pages, that sort of thing. Like Oh, here's this one, and it's
Yeah,
dissected into these parts, and on this
or if
page.
we did a
Interesting.
stroke count thing, then it would be like, then you could literally have that being like, have it's a, you know, if you had a, for example, you know, a triangle, you could say 2, not 1, and then they would have to do this and that, not,
Right. Yeah.
you know, not one thing. Or, you know, 2 then 1, or 1 then 2. You know, that could be interesting too. There's something that I like about that, using the stroke count, having it be like, having that matter is kind of interesting, but the question is, does that feel tedious and arbitrary in a way that feels bad?
Yeah, I mean,
when you're trying to figure out a rune.
Yeah, I mean, I think there can be 1 or 2 that are like pretty complicated that, like, depending on how frequently, you know, maybe there's some quote-unquote end game ones that are real complicated, but you're really only going to use them once or twice or something. Like there's only like a couple puzzles in the world designed for that or something like that.
Yeah, maybe I'll come up with one and secretly put it in there and see if you guys can figure it out.
Right on. You have to hide something in the map to tell us.
Yeah, I'll train something, hide it, and have it only activate if it's classified properly and you've done the right stroke count and combination. Anywho.
Any thoughts on a fun shape to draw, Jeff, if you're actually in now?
It's still.
Oh yeah, the first time takes.
Yeah, I'm only like halfway done.
Yeah, the first time takes forever. It is a big game with lots of. The model itself is very big, and we have, even though we cleaned it up, we still have a lot of assets sitting around in there. And you have to build the database for everything that we have, which takes a while. Alright, well, if we do I'll start retraining things. If we do the spiral, this duplicate.
I wouldn't mind starting with
combine.
the your S symbol for the attract repel. Would just make. I mean, as the first one we put in, I'm gonna leave it as a box for real prototype,
Yeah.
but.
I can retrain on that.
What would be the alternate? Like, what would be the attract repel? Do just like a sine wave on a line and have that mean something? Boom. Nope. Boom. Swoop.
We did like a sine wave thing with sine wave with a line, and then I don't know yet. I do think it feels good to do the clef symbol.
You do a line up and then swoop?
I do a line up then swoop.
I feel better. I don't know why. I like better. I like swoop down and then start back from the top again. So a two swipe.
Yeah, I mean, oh, you do a 2 and then start from the top again. I mean, you could do it either way. It doesn't feel bad to do down then up. I wonder if we need to focus on like mirroring.
Yeah, some of these, yeah, we are gonna have to mirror. Like I would think we would want to mirror the attractor, or sorry, the duplicate combine if we're doing it that way.
Like, do these look the same either way? I mean, as long as like that, as long as it looks the same either way, then they're fine. But we do need to focus on like things that look right only one way. We should try to
Make
train
them
the
non.
duplicate as a false. This might feel better too, doing something like this.
Down and then
Looks a
swoop
little
up.
bit.
Yeah, I bet that would. I bet I would like that.
Looks a little bit
down.
like a set of testicles. might interfere with the penis classifier.
I always like. You see it in tons of my drawings, but I always like doing a line and then just 2 dashes.
I think something musical. Like I feel like they're like musical annotation has
Looks
lots
cool.
of neat looking stuff.
I would do like a I don't know what's this called, Jeff? The regular note, like just
the beat, half beat, or
Oh, like a quarter note?
quarter note,
yeah.
Oh, well, that's, yeah.
and then something through here, like either dash dash, or boom.
Alright, what am I opening?
That felt cool.
Go to the assets folder, like the root, and then in assets go to scenes, and just the regular just the magic farm scene, the box with the
Scenes, magic farm.
yeah, double click magic farm. Don't go in the magic farm folder. That's the volumes and shit.
Scenes folder.
Yeah, scenes, and there should be a file there called magic farm.
There's a folder called Magic Farm.
You don't have a file.
Oh, Magic Farm profiles?
No, it should. If you're want to stream real quick, and I'll take a look.
Yeah, hold on.
It should be called magicfarm.unity is what it's actually called. But...
I can't remember how to do this. Crap. How do I change when I'm streaming? Not giving me. Hold on.
Mhm.
Yeah. You see it?
Yeah, I see. I am looking at Discord currently.
Is it in there now?
Still looking at Discord. I think
Alright, hold on.
streaming just your Discord. You go to stream. Maybe you might need to change over from applications to screens. There we go. I see it now. All right, guy, you're in the Magic Farm folder. Jump out of that and go into scenes. And then it's that.
Ah, whoa. So it's this one.
Yeah, exactly. Double click that, and that'll open up the scene. Oh, you know what? It might put you in a weird spot. So click on the player first person in the top left there and hit F.
Yeah, there's a thing to sign in the top left of his
Yeah.
thing there too. I don't know if.
So click on that and then click into the scene. Sorry. And then hit F. That should teleport you to where you need to be.
Okay.
And because that's compiling all the shaders.
Okay.
I kind of like the
then-
aesthetic of like how it's hopping from window to window on the streets.
It's kind of weird. It's like he's doing a tutorial. Oh, I guess you could also just double click a object in the thing.
Oh,
and
weird.
it'll do
This
most of
is
it.
an older version.
Yeah, this is an older version. I don't know why you're seeing this. Oh, because he's on the main thread, Chris.
Oh, okay.
We need to send you over to a different branch, Jeff.
Oh.
go to, so in your GitHub,
Mhm. Do I need to close it?
you should at least stop playing. Go to line render. So there's a. Hold on, let me actually pull it up. I don't know what it looks like.
Line render
There should be a drop.
interface.
Yeah, that's the branch we're on right now. Click on that branch.
Alright, it's downloading.
And so Jeff's, was that choppy for you, Jeff, or did that
It started off choppy, but it's fine after.
weird? Okay, because your
pull-
stream looks choppy like mine does, so I don't feel bad.
Preview the pull request. To do that.
Preview the pull request.
Preview the pull request from your current branch. Current branch line render interface is already published to GitHub. Changes to pull this request without before proposing your change.
Oh, you haven't done any, or it says you have changes, probably from loading the scenes or something.
Yeah,
If you have
well,
changes, just discard them all, and because they don't matter. It would just be metadata or something like about you.
okay, it's doing something.
Well, that's something like this, Chris.
Happened back to you. Hold on.
Hold on. It is.
Ooh, I like that.
Something like I don't know. I'm trying to think of something like the raise the dead spell. Or
Yeah,
something.
that looks like it would raise the dead.
It's kind of
Is
hard
the
to
right
draw. It feels good to do. That looks right. Yeah, it's choppy to me.
What
But
could
as
we
long as
use
it
that
doesn't
for?
look-
What room
it's-
could we
it's
use that
not
for?
choppy.
Not choppy for me at all.
Okay, that's just Discord. Okay, I'm glad that yours does that too. It must just be our graphics cards kind of suck relative to Chris's. And Jeff, so are those lines as jagged as they look, or is that just
It's
the compression?
they're not smooth. They're like bumpy.
They
This is
shouldn't
the
be
old
it's
line
like-
renderer though, right?
Like
If he's-
every
No,
time
oh, no,
I
he's
not
on the
you.
new one.
every time I move a little, it's you're adding a bunch of circles. It's not like you're drawing a line. So if you like,
So that is weird because on mine it doesn't do that. Like here, let me take a picture and
like
show you
that,
guys
on
what it looks
mine.
like.
that's like real jaggedy.
So yeah, I mean it'll be jaggedy on those edges. I haven't done the like sharp turn cap things. Basically, when you do
Yeah.
that, you need to like.
But I mean,
redo
it's
the
just
mesh.
like like the whole line is just a less version of what's going on here.
Let me take a
it's
screenshot
fine.
of. Well, I just want to take a screenshot and show you to see just like does it look like this? Because I do. If it is different for each of us, then that will become an issue. All right, so I'm gonna paste this into Discord. Heartland. So that's what my lines look like when I draw them. They have like you can see where they're
Oh
connected.
wow, yeah, yours look nice as hell.
No,
Mine do not look like
definitely not.
that.
Why don't yours look like that? That's very strange.
I mean, they look like that if you go fast, but if you go slow, then you start to get like weird shit.
If I
like,
go
if I
slow and make lots of turns, it does that. Yeah.
Like
Okay,
if I go quick, it's nice and smooth.
I think it might be your mouse sensitivity that's doing it. Different mouse sensitivities, because when I go all the way
It
up,
could
mine
also
look a
do that.
little
Let
bit
me turn
closer
it
to
down.
yours.
Yeah.
Can you take a screenshot of yours, like, because even when I go slow, it still looks pretty fine. Like, maybe I'll do a quick, like, stream.
Actually, I guess.
Yeah, yours look too jaggedy. I don't know what is going on with that. Why mine looks good and yours doesn't, because it's the same branch. But that's something we'll have to figure out.
Oh no, I
So
guess
if
they
I
are still
do-
jaggedy when I do.
If I go, let's start recording. And then this is nice and slow. and then this is fast. This is real slow. Alright. Stop that. Hopefully that video doesn't wind up being too big.
Mirror. We could use that symbol for the mirror.
Yeah, that would work. Where are my videos?
Seemed at first like
Too big. Alright, so that's a video of me, which you'll have to unfortunately download. I thought I would just play that in fucking Discord, but I guess it doesn't. Of me drawing my lines, like, and you can't replicate, or it's not the same for you. It's jagged as hell.
it is jagged, but also your whole screen just looks like it's in a higher resolution. I wonder if we ran this not in build and not in play, if it would be different.
I don't know. It should be the same regardless. And I'm doing 16:9 aspect, which is the only difference. But that shouldn't change anything. I could go to free aspect. It bugs me that it's not the same. And it's hard because like we need to figure out what the difference is because I can't test it without knowing what the problem is.
Like all the lines kind of look jagged on mine, even the cartoon shading line. Maybe we're kind of talking about different things actually, but
Can you do a quick? I guess you're streaming, so you can't.
I can. I am. The only thing is I'll have to cut my recording, but I can do that.
I just want a short video of you drawing, so I can kind of see how bad it looks and where the things might be.
Is it just because I'm playing it in a window? Like,
That's what I was saying. I'm wondering if this is because it's not. Here, if
I don't think
change-
so, because you're playing it the same way I am. It's just my windows are side by side. I've just like put them side by side.
You did 16:9 instead of free aspect?
Yeah, but if I go to free aspect, it still works just fine.
alright, I'm in 16:9. It looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh.
Very strange.
Alright, here.
No, everything.
Yeah, I think whatever it is, it's fundamental, low level. I just don't know what it is yet. Because that is super fucking jagged. I just gotta figure out how to test it. I need to be able to replicate what you guys are doing, what you guys are seeing, but I can't. Like, it just doesn't look like that on mine.
Do you still want me to take a video? I can if you need.
Yeah, I do. That'll help.
Alright, hold on. Cutting this one. Alright. Yeah, let's restart the scene. And restart this.
What's also weird too is like on my laptop it works, so I don't understand. Like those are two different computers. It still looks fine on my shit. Maybe I just have a different mouse sensitivity than most people. Maybe mine's super low relative to some people.
I tested that and it doesn't really seem. If you're going fast, it looks better either way. If you're going slow, even still, it is. Still looks kind of jagged. Alright.
Do a straight line, Jeff, or like a relatively straight line if you can find a place to do it. Alright, that looks fine, obviously.
I mean, that's
And
like
just
me
do like a
just
line with
running though.
slight
That's
curves.
not.
Yeah.
I think it might just be like my hand. Like, I don't know though.
There was a thing where that I took out. Can you pause and restart the game? and don't sprint at all, and just draw. Try, maybe don't even move if you can avoid it.
Hmm.
Still the same? Looks still the same.
Yeah, so it's the same.
There was a bug in the past where all of a sudden the raycast would get wobbly out of nowhere, and it had something to do with the rigid body. Let me actually check, because if you you can't turn the rigid body off, right?
All right, I put a video of me drawing a video in the chat.
Thank you. Yeah, yours are.
Oh wait, I think I might have figured it out. No, maybe.
Well, this whole video is
I
actually.
figured it out, I think.
What is it?
Maybe? I can't tell. My lines definitely look smoother. So, let me see. Jeff, are you still streaming? I'll tell you if I'm right in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, no, I'm wrong. Never mind. I don't know. I thought my scale was at 1.1. And now that I change it to 1, I guess I do still see a little bit of jagginess, but it definitely looks...
The video you sent me also looks like compressed again.
That's the 1.1. So let me take another one here.
But the video itself looks compressed. Like there's like
Oh, probably that might be Discord, or I don't even know.
I don't think that'd be Discord. That should be the way you're recording it. But like, if you when you watch back your video, does your video also?
I do wonder, because my stream looked like shit yesterday. Did I fucking change a video setting or something? I don't think I did. Let me.
Because like when I look at that video, to me it looks like
for layers from beginning to end, where the
like
beginning
even
and
the like the toon shader lines are bad.
Okay, yeah, that's the 1.1 thing. Yeah, like here, let me show you the video now.
It might be just my mouse. Because, okay, this is when I draw on my mouse pad. You know, it's not great. But if I draw on, like, just my desk, it, like, stops and starts weird.
Let me hop over to your stream. Hold on. Sorry, I'm watching now. Okay.
Okay, so that was on my mouse pad. This
Oh.
was off my mouse pad.
Okay, on your mouse pad looks way better.
Yeah, that's what I think. It's literally the mouse.
Okay, so that's good to know. That is promising. It's hardware. Hardware can be diagnosed, and I can get hardware to test on. Eventually, somehow. Okay, that's very good to know. And how to figure that out, I don't know.
Like,
it's almost like your mouse has a lower
weird
accuracy or something.
So,
Over to your stream. So if I can find what kind of mouse do you have, Jeff?
okay, so that was on my mouse.
Sent another video.
Net. It's like a Chinese.
Is it like a gaming mouse or is it?
Yeah, it's a
okay.
gaming mouse. I don't even think the company exists anymore because I can't find the drivers for it.
I kind of love the way it looks when it gets jaggy sometimes, though. Like, I think this looks awesome.
I hate it, especially since I put so much time into.
Yeah. But just it looks like a line from a fucking where the sidewalk ends drawing or something. I don't know.
Yours doesn't look so bad on your video, Chris. It
That's-
doesn't look as bad as Jeff's does.
Yeah.
Is it drawing on the guy? What's happening?
Yeah, it gets weird. It's just his hitbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, the drawing is not perfect by any means. It's let me open Chris's again here, because for some reason when I try to restart Chris's video, it just gets the fucking Windows Media Player is trash. Okay, Chris, yours looks okay. It doesn't look like Jeff's. Yours looks kind of like I would expect, given how I implemented the thing.
It's also, I think, maybe the distance you draw from yourself affects it greatly. If you're drawing straight down, the lines look nice and clean, but if you're
Yeah.
drawing kind of far away, where it's hitched, like it's getting a little bit of. You look on my screen right now, like here, this is something I drew far away. If I draw that same thing close up, it's like, well, actually, that's too close up. Versus,
Yeah, it is weird, because let me do... Yeah, if I do far away too, yeah, it does...
which is fine. Like, I think this looks fine. It
Oh.
looks like you were straining to draw it. You were reaching
Well, so there is definitely a thing of like, the further away you are, and the faster you move your mouse, basically we're doing raycast, right? So by the time the mouse has moved, the game only runs at however many frames per second your computer can handle. I wonder if that's what the problem is. Maybe Jeff, what graphics card do you have?
3060.
3060. Okay, that's a little worse than my 1080. And then what? Do you know what CPU you have? Probably not off the top of your head. 'Cause I don't know what mine
It's
have.
like a 7, 9. Check.
Basically, I think it could be a frame rate drop issue.
Yeah, it kind of does look like that.
Where as your frames drop, because it's basically your mouse is in a much different position, the drawing jumps.
Yeah.
Because if I draw real fast, I get those same artifacting because it's just drawing lines between each segment. Which means I might need to do like some sort of spline-based line drawing to smooth things out, which is like take into account the curvature of the line so far and the other points in the line, and probably like a Catmull ROM spline kind of thing. Yeah. Figure it out. Also means that maybe I need to figure out how to...
Okay. Yeah.
yo, check out my Dickman tag. That's me, bro.
Yeah. 3060 Ti. My processor is a i7 11700.
Okay. I saw. But that being said, though, actually, you do all right with your mouse pad, right?
Yeah.
So I guess maybe the.
I think that it's just like the laser being weird on the desk. And it's just less weird on the mouse pad.
Yeah. Alright. Well, seeing Chris's and it's a bummer because it won't look as nice, Jeff, as you're drawing shit, because it won't feel nice to be drawing shit that doesn't look good. But I wonder if we can somehow account for that for people that have shittier mice. It'd be nice. I think the next step too is have Dave try it and see if it's like how consistent is. Yeah, because that looks terrible.
You know what else is fun to draw? Just a dotted line. Maybe that's the mirror, actually. right? You literally define the plane.
There is a way for it to get jaggedy too. Like if I sprint, my lines get jaggedy. If I sprint and move left and right, the lines get real jaggy.
Yeah, that's what happens to me too.
Yeah, so that's
Real.
always been a problem. Like sprinting just does that. And then when you're in sprint mode, even just walking and doing that actually seems to happen. And that is interesting, honestly.
Well, I mean, I think this is like a really fast movement speed right now.
Yeah, we wouldn't really probably be having people run that quickly.
And maybe like when you're in drawing, you can like lower the sensitivity on the mouse. That might help.
Yeah, I'll mess around with it with some settings and see what smooths things out. I do. And I'll add some or expose some of the drawing settings and see if I can get things to look a little smoother.
There's also the option of just putting a shader on top of it to make it look good no matter what, like just smooth all the lines and.
Well, it's a mesh, so shading it won't help that much. But like it's a mesh that it's a line mesh. It's a very simple mesh. I don't think shading is gonna help too much, but I should be able to fix this.
I think it's honestly fine. I don't think it's something that needs immediately fixing. Do
me a favor,
be
Jeff, and go
way.
real slow on your mouse.
can look
Go
real nice.
Slow. Like watch your things. Don't move one pip at a time. You should see the pips as you.
Yeah.
And that's smooth, right? If you're not going too tight, if you're drawing like wide and.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is,
Well,
except for when you're
no,
far
I
away.
don't- Yeah, not far away.
We can limit the draw distance to be close. But even my far away ones are still smoother than your far away ones. Alright, well, things to work on. I can expose settings, and I'm glad that we had you test it, because it's good to know. I'd rather know this now than before we try to show this thing off.
Also, I don't know if this helps you solve the problem at all, but on my screen, just like walking along drawing this dotted line, like the thing that stands out to me is like it's a turning left and right. You can reduce this to a turning left and right problem, right? Because as long as I'm going straight, there is no jagginess. Like so, if I'm and it is the mouse movement, because if I walk left and right, it goes.
Let me. It definitely is a like that problem seems to have something weird to do with maybe the rigid body. I'm not 100% sure, but let me look at that, and then I should be able to click on that and look at its mesh. Where the fuck is it? Okay, look at your mesh. Why can't I see your mesh?
Yeah, it's gotta be it is the mouse, because I just drew all this running around.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another.
Yeah, not moving the mouse. Yeah, that looks really nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's actually very heartening. that helps. That means whatever the problem is, it seems to be related to hardware differences, and that can be solved more easily. And like mouse hardware differences, not even processing power or anything like that. So the jaggies, when you're moving left and right. Basically, I don't know if you want to look at my stream.
Actually, on mine, it's almost a problem. It happens for me only when I am both moving and moving my mouse left and right.
Yeah, there's I don't know. Well, so this is like, Chris, if you go to your pick one that's really jaggy, or just look at my stream because I have one that's very jaggy.
Yeah, if you're moving and moving the mouse, it looks real bad for me.
Yeah.
Terrible. Jeff, do me a favor. Go to your start over because there's gonna be too many runes right now if you don't start over.
How would I do that?
Yeah, stop and restart. And then when you restart, make a jagged line, one that looks real bad. And then further instructions will be done.
Okay. All right.
There you go. Yeah, look at that. Crap. All right, see if you can get one in a there. Yeah, that's a perfect one. All right, now on your left-hand side, hit escape so that your mouse escapes the keyboard or escapes the game view. And then move over to the rune. There should be a rune game object now. If you expand that and click the game object inside of it, there is on the right-hand side, or rather in the inspector, which I think is on the right-hand side by default, there will be a script called drawing, and in that there's something called a boolean called debug draw. Click
Okay,
that.
hold on a second. Where is the object called rune? Oh, there it is.
Left-hand hierarchy.
All right,
Yeah,
see
expand that.
Okay.
There's a new game object in there. Click that.
New game object. New game object drawing. Yes.
Yeah, then under on the drawing side, click debug draw. There should be a check mark for that you can activate.
Wait, on the left-hand side, it made new game object.
Right, click on new game object, and then on the right-hand side, that in what's called the inspector, that will have information about the new game object.
Right. Okay.
And then there's a script in there called drawing. In that section, there should be an option called debug draw.
This is grayed out. I can't really.
You can't interact with it. I can't see. Unfortunately, you're only streaming. Oh, here we go. Now.
Oh wait. Oh, now it's opening Visual Studio. Oh god.
Oh no! Don't open that. Just
No,
there's a thing called debug draw. You see that debug draw checkbox under the cap point count and above average normal.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just check that box.
Okay.
And now, if you go to your scene view, so there's a tab on the top of your game screen that you're in game. Yeah. Now, now double click on the rune thing to get yourself oriented right next to it. On the thing called rune or new game object also works.
Okay.
All right, and you should. Why doesn't debug draw those for you? Debug draw is checked still, right? If you click back on that.
Yep.
Huh. Maybe because your gizmos aren't on. Go to. So, oh man, this. Hard to tell you how to do. So there's on the top right, there's a ball with a couple dots on it. Can you click the drop down arrow by that ball? And I can't see. Hold on, I'm gonna just click a bunch of things until I can.
What should I be looking for?
So in the list of scripts, there should be a gizmo check mark on the right.
Gizmo. Oh, I have fade gizmos.
Fade gizmos is all.
Gizmo check mark. Okay, yes.
Yeah. Is that checked? So is that checked?
It's checked on all of them. Yeah.
Okay, so that should be checked on all of them. I don't understand why your thing isn't drawing. Basically, I want to look at, if you look at my stream, this is what I want to see on yours. Basically turning debug draw on turns on this wireframe view that I make.
Okay.
So you can see the wireframe of it, but I don't know why yours isn't showing it. Chris, can you see the wireframe?
Sorry, I'm not at my computer at the moment. Coming back.
And that is the only rune. I'm looking at your stuff now. Oh, you know what it might be? No, that's not it. You go draw is checked, yeah.
Can I see the wireframe of?
So if you go and do the thing that I just told Jeff to do, basically, click on clear out. Yeah, go draw a drawing, any drawing. That's good enough. It doesn't need to be fancy. And then go into your click on the rune, expand it, and then click on the new game object inside of that. And then hit the debug draw there under the drawing. And then I'll go look at it. Yeah, why is that debug draw only working for me? Oh, so many things come up when you're not when you try things with other people's computers.
Is debug drawing something? Just this line.
It is, but it should be debug drawing everything, which makes me
I mean, it
wonder.
classified it as a fizzle. What would it be draw? Is that?
It doesn't matter. If you look at my screen, it should draw what I see, basically. Jeff's.
It's got like vector lines. I think.
Oh, okay.
Like you can see the lines. Which for some reason on yours and Jeff's doesn't work. And go into your gizmos, Chris.
Where is that again?
Is that like 3D ball with dots on it on the top right of your scene view?
Selection wire is unchecked.
Check that. Maybe that's what it is, but I doubt it. No, it's not that. That's so strange. I can't figure out what it is. Let me redo my drawing and see if I can replicate what you guys are seeing. Because that could help us diagnose what's going on with your things.
Is this debug.drawLine? That's running this?
Oh, you know what it might be? I think I didn't account for this in... Well, yeah, it's debug.drawLine, but it's custom code to do it. I think I know what it is. Hold on, let me check. I think I know what I did.
Oh wait, here's another thing.
Now it's not working on mine. I must have done something stupid with when I made the line code allow for multiple lines. It must be something with that. So let me draw that. And then draw this and see if one of them...
Honestly, just putting down an automatic slow down time while drawing thing. I mean, for now, it would just be like basically like slow the player's movement with drawing.
I see what it is. You can't it's annoying because I didn't program it well. I can fix it actually real quick. You guys will just have to pull to get it to work. Draw controller. It's actually in drawing, I believe. Drawing. So, current points I want. Oh, it'll be a little bit more annoying to fix this. Basically, I need to go through all of the points, which is I'll just make a stop that fix for now. Let's see. Indices. Points, indices. NPCs, yeah, there's nothing more.
Alright, I can help you test after this is fixed, but I do have to go to
Yeah,
bed
no,
pretty
no.
soon after
Yeah,
that.
you can. We can do it later. I mean, I basically know that I need to clean or make things, try to smooth things out. I know if I'm gonna guess that if I can smooth it out when I'm sprinting, then that'll also smooth it out for when you guys are just regular drawing.
I like what we have for the grow shrink as the spiral. I like the triangle thing for the duplicate combine. I love the like guy silhouette for the mirror. I think that's awesome. I'm down to use the swirly. I'm not sure it's the best fit for attract repel. Would like to come up with something for attract repel. Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah, I'd like to. Like you have to go slower to draw it for sure.
That's fine. I think it's fine as long as you're not gonna be if it's mirror, you're not gonna be using it a ton.
But that's yeah. I think it's fine for a more complicated rune. Something about it just looks nice to draw on. It's definitely unique.
I do
Enough
feel like
to-
it would be. I would think that would raise the dead, yeah, or something like that. Or
Yeah, it does feel like a Raise the Dead or animate or something. Yeah, definitely one to keep in the books for sure for later implementation. But for now, we'll the triangle rune works. Or triangle, circle, square work. We can do what we need to do with them, and I'll work on getting the drawing mesh shit to be a little cleaner. That'll be a good thing I can work on tomorrow. I also have to get the D&D session finished. Lots of maps to draw.
I knew it. We're going to the human realm. You're drawing a new world map.
Got
my
lots of
prediction.
maps to draw. Yeah, yours is real. Yours
Yeah,
gets real choppy.
yeah. Jeffs are way
Just
worse
are
than
way
I
worse,
thought.
but yeah. But yeah, it shouldn't be this choppy. And let me look at it on your stream.
Yeah, but try to think of something for attract repel. It's got to have 2 configurations, so.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Yeah, yours are so wobbly.
I think my attract repel first one was like
Yeah,
that or something.
something like that. It was harder.
Yeah.
It was hard to draw. I found it a little hard to draw.
Yeah, it wound up feeling weird to draw, which
That's why I
was
wanted
when
to
we
get you in
started.
here with. Hopefully, Marcus can get this looking a little nicer and feeling a little nicer to draw on yours.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why.
I'll smooth it out.
So it's his mouse. We think is the.
Well, part of it is you have it a little bit too. Like those jaggies, I don't get that when I draw either. So there's something else going on here. I just have to figure it out. Chris, draw something really jaggy, but do it in one line and release your right mouse button before you release your left. That's what's happening. But that's why you guys aren't getting the debug draws.
Sorry. Draw something jaggy, and then what else? What did you want me to do?
Something that gets real jaggy, and draw one line and release make sure it's one line and make sure you release your right mouse button before your left. There you go.
Okay.
Right mouse button release first.
I didn't pull
and then
anything though. If you changed.
No. This will just work naturally. Now click on the drawing, the newest drawing, which should just be the one most recent in the chain, and turn on the debug, and let's look at that. I'm watching on your Twitch stream, so it's gonna take me. Why? Oh yeah, there it is. It's on your. Alright, if you zoom nice in there and look at some of the real jagged parts, you'll probably get a good look at. If you just fly on in there, you'll get a good look at what's going on. So the white dots are
The actual dots.
the actual points, and the other stuff is the mesh, and that definitely could be. So like, look, so those points, it truly does look like that's like, it's the points. You know what I mean? Like it's where they're being positioned. It's weird. You
What
see
does it
how
look like on
close-
yours? Let me see what it looks, what something like that looks like on yours. Like just draw a line, like kind of far from you, and while moving. I've popped out another window. Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, alright, I'm watching. Yeah,
So I get some of them, like here and here, but let's do.
Yeah,
let's
do the debug draw so I can see.
the draw. Oh, I forgot to do the release order because I'm an idiot. All right.
Oh shit! I stole Lauren's vaporizer. I just realized. My dick.
Okay, there's the line. It looks pretty good. Go over here. Get to that line. Over here. Debug draw. Basically, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Weird. Why are ours?
So the point, like, I have it a little bit at the end, but like, why? The question is, why
So,
is the?
are you moving left and right, like with A and D on the keyboard, and W and A or W and D, and moving left and right with your mouse? Maybe you're just not recreating what we're recreating.
All right, move my mouse and. All right, hold on. Let me.
So
start
like be
over.
strafing and going forward, and like change
And-
direction, and then do your.
Okay, there we go. I see. Like this.
That's
Yeah.
what's causing it on mine.
Okay. So, all right, that's a good look at it. Let me do that one more time because I don't think I released properly. All right, that's a good look at what it is. Let's get over there. Let's turn on.
Why does that one have like a
draw.
million peacocking points from it?
Which one?
I don't know. You were just zoomed in on it a second ago. It was on this one.
This thing right here.
It's hard to say. It's hard to see on the stream, but
All right, so if we look real closely, sorry, I'll try to look nice on your stream.
this looks fine. That looks like what I'm seeing on mine from it's when you. I think that this part of it. Jeff's is another thing, and I think maybe it is a mouse thing or something, but this part of it can just be solved by, like...
But like, see what it is, though? It's truly, these points should not be doing this. So, like, why do the points do this when the mouse isn't doing this? Like it looks like it's an issue with raycasting.
Well, it is. I think it is. I think it's working right. It's just like when you're moving, right? Like you're moving in a straight line for all those other ones, and they look fine. And then when you start moving your mouse left and right and strafing left and right, there's two forces acting on it. There's your mouse movement and the player movement, which is it's transposing one on top of the other. So it's like move down, move up a little bit, and then move down and move up a little bit, and move down, and then move up a little bit. And the up a little bit is the one of those movements, and the down direction. There's two vectors. I don't know how to say what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get it, but the question I have is why, like, as long as the hold on. Let's. If the speed is roughly the same, which it should be, then how come I'm getting points that are super close and then far away, and then like good, then all of a sudden it's like the frame rate or something drops, and or like the frame rate speeds up or something, and then it goes super close and then far away. I might actually need to account for frame rate or something, like peaks in frame rate or something. I might need to slow it down manually or something, or make a mandatory width, not like a far and wide, but basically take the width and make it required. I need to think about that. Like a bit, because the problem is when you have the. I don't know. And it is weird, right? I'm not crazy because, like, yeah, here's a dot, 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 and I'm going at this angle, right? And if I'm doing a constant turn, how come I get this?
You
This
won't if you're
really
standing
short
still,
one?
right? That's the player movement part, those little jags, right? You won't get that if you're standing still.
I gotta go.
All right.
No worries. I also gotta go pretty soon. I should go give this back to Lauren. But I don't think it's like, I could be wrong. I could very well be wrong. But like, I don't think it's like a frame rate thing. I think it is something inherent to allowing the player to move and draw at the same time that would need to
Yeah,
be
but
solved by either limiting the way that the player can move that way, or like having the line renderer account for it after the fact, like with like what you're saying is still a solution to what I'm suggesting, which is like the required width. Like you would need to do a required width and like almost I've pitched this before. Maybe I wasn't articulate enough to say what I'm trying to say, but I'll try now. Is like maybe you can do that with like by smoothing the line yourself, by giving it sort of like having it take the points and then having it do almost what it does with a spline or one of those, where it like then later after the fact actually draws a path that goes through those points and has like a direction and like a sort of lerpy turn itself to go to the next point cleanly thing.
I do wonder. Yeah, I mean we could. I mean, yeah, there are a couple solutions, but I do wonder if it's something to do. Let me mess around with this. Hold on. So, well, I guess making it kinematic means I can't move. I want to know if I can somehow smooth this movement.
That's what I was saying at the very beginning, like, do we go and like actually change the way the cursor, like give the cursor a speed, like have the cursor move towards the next point and add a speed and something like that. But I do think the ultimate way to fix it is you get the line, you get all the points and you don't draw the line yet. But then it would be sort of like changing behind you as you walk, maybe.
Yeah, you would want the line to be consistent. This looks okay, but there's still definitely jaggies. I wonder if it might actually be a thing about syncing movement with mouse movement or something along those lines. Like I get what
are
you're
they both
saying,
on fixed
but if there's
update or something like that? Could you do, is it something as simple as like one's in update and one's in fixed update sort of thing?
I don't know where the one is, but I the physics system works in fixed update, so it could just be simple. It could theoretically be that simple.
As moving something from update to fixed.
Draw controller and go from update to fixed update, and let's see. That could honestly do it.
My confidence is 20% chance this will work.
Nope.
Okay, nah. That would have been nice though.
So his almost, if anything,
It almost looks worse, yeah.
But it actually does tell me something, because if Jeff's computer is running at a lower frame rate, which it probably is, then it's effectively like him running a almost like a fixed update. I wonder if and in fact that it does make it worse.
What about the aim camera script? Is that also on, or whatever because it's getting those points from a raycast from the camera, right?
Well, the raycast is on a fixed update right now. The camera.
Maybe try
I don't
putting
know
both
how to-
on update and see what that looks like. I mean,
I can't do both on update because your movement is always going to be on fixed update because it's physics movement, right?
yes. I don't remember. I got it from a default like thing on the store.
I think it's rigid body movement, so it would be physics based. Where is the camera? Drawing, journal, shaders, terrain. It's probably in the scripts. Drawing, not in journal. Attract bird movement, back terrain, night, detect object, grabber, grass, repel, rune, terrain. Third party tools. Is it in third party tools? Zoom. The camera might I might not actually be able to mess with that. That's actually probably built in now that I'm thinking about it. It would be bad. I feel bad for that to be on.
It might be called first person look or something. Or I don't remember.
There's something called first person look. Let's just change that to fixed update real quick, though I think this might actually make it feel awful.
That looks
That's a little
good.
smoother.
That looks good. You're moving left and right, and not just forward right now.
Yeah, moving left and moving right.
That looks
and
good.
doing all the things. It does look better for sure. Question is, does this feel worse? I think it might feel worse. Still gets a little warbly, you see, like right here.
Yeah.
There's some warble.
Seems to at least maintain a thickness, though. The curves are a little sharp.
It's like feels like it got way more sensitive to me. Weirdly enough.
I mean, then that's good. Like, unless it's so bad that you couldn't like walk around and stuff.
It also like feels like the frame rate dropped. Even though I don't think it did, I think it's just.
What did you change? I want to feel it.
I turned the camera to fixed update and the raycast to fixed update, so that's on first person look and on actually now that I'm on full screen here, the sensitivity feels really low. It's weird. I don't think the sensitivity ever did that before.
So
yeah, weird. It almost made the sensitivity. I don't know if this is always the case, and I just never noticed it, but it feels like it made the mouse sensitivity somehow resolution specific.
That's weird. So if I change first person look update to fixed update, I should feel at least the movement of what it feels like on yours now. So let me see.
First person look to fixed update and the classifier. What the fuck is it called?
I see what you mean about the lower frame rate feel.
Also, I'm back to regular fixed update, and this is working fine now. Which so it is.
You know, what we could do if that fixes it is just make a camera that's not on. That's just the reticle that's on fixed update instead of update.
What is this doing? Also, something's weird here.
But yeah,
Something else is broken. Like sometimes it connects the lines, other times something just broke. You know what? There's something that can't be on fixed update because it's detecting mouse inputs and shit. That's what's happening. It's like detecting clicks, and that breaks something. The draw controller can't be on fixed update, or it isn't. Or I'd have to work a way around it controller-wise to like detect, because like when you release the mouse button, that needs to be on happen every frame.
Honestly, I'm not getting the jaggies with just having changed the camera.
The camera.
So what you could do is you can make a camera that's not on, that has the same exact script as the normal camera, same exact position, everything, and just have it be on fixed update instead of update, and have that control
Yeah,
the
something
drawing.
like that. But that might still feel weird. It might feel like it's lagging behind in a way.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm
we'll
not
see.
sure.
So that is camera only, or camera on fixed update, or regular update. So if I go to camera on fixed update, save that. Yeah, so is it super sensitive to you when you when you do that? Like the small screen is like insanely sensitive to me. Mouse sensitivity, weirdly enough. And I don't understand why that would be. Yeah, the camera though, it does seem to fix it.
It's weird too when I have it this way. I'm not sure if it feels a little less sensitive to me overall, but also it's doing this weird thing where like it's snapping. As soon as if I let go of the classify, it like snaps ahead to where it's weird. I'm not sure if you're watching my.
I'm watching now. What am I looking at?
So look, boom. Okay, it only matters if I'm moving it, but like if I let it go at the end, you'll see a jump. I'll jump like forward the direction I'm looking. Like, see?
Oh, weird. Yeah.
That happens if I let go of right click before left.
It might be the classifiers technically happening in the background. So the classifier takes does actually, like, you don't notice it in fixed most of the time because like the classifier does spike the CPU usage really briefly for 1 frame. So it must be, I'm doing it too. I can replicate this, something similar. Yeah, it does so it must be like running that classifier somehow slows down the execution of the fixed update, which is weird. But now I'm doing it. I'm still actually no, I'm not in fixed update. Hold on. Even outside of fixed update, actually, this is not fixed update. This is regular update, and I still get that. It's just not as significant. It looks like.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe the best thing is to just do some sort of strategy, like
Where I can just fudge it.
Yeah.
Do a fix where I do like a some kind of spline based thing just to artificially smooth your lines, but that might not feel good. We'll see.
Honestly, I tend to think that if it looks good, it feels good. What's gonna the disconnect will be like if it assumes something that you totally didn't want it to do, where it's like, I didn't mean to do that. If you meant to draw a circle and like you drew a circular shape and it's like more circular than you actually drew it, I think most people will like be like, yeah, that felt good. I did. Yeah. I think their brains might even retroactively like be like, yep, you did that.
I did that well. Yeah, I'll figure it out. I need to think about it a little bit, but I will find a way to do it. So the only problem is with like Catmull ROM, I'll need to figure out like a new spline or like a way to project. So Catmull ROM splines are affected by their previous and current their previous and sorry, the previous and the next point is what they're affected by.
Hmm.
So I guess I could project a fake next point at the same angle, but then we'll have to see how weird that feels when you're while you're drawing, because you're gonna they'll basically the last point might look a little, you'll kind of see the adjustments happening at the end of the line as you draw them. Also though, I wonder if the Catmull's Ron spline even will fix the issue, the root issue being this weird disconnect with the the movement causing these
The other option
this weird
too, if we can't fix
inconsistency.
this, and like I want to be clear, I think the lines look pretty much great. Even the jaggy parts are like fine. Like for prototyping, I think it's fine. I mean, if you want to go dive into it and fix it, if it bothers you that much, by all means, go ahead. But like I think it's fine for now. But ultimately, if we can't get it to work, like I do like that I do want the player to be able to move and draw, but if we had to give that up and just have it do like a basically like a time freeze whenever you're drawing, I could make that concession. Then we don't have to worry about, and in one sense, like then we don't really have to worry about how complex a rune is, like because if you're on a trampoline and you need to draw something way up in the air, well, when you're drawing, it's gonna freeze time, and you're not gonna have to worry about that, and that might feel better anyway. But what was I gonna say after that? Something count.
Yeah, I think I'll try to. I think I can fix this. I'll need to think about it, but so it's basically a combination of frame rate, the movement, the movement and the camera shit is just like the side effect of them being on two different time systems, basically, where your movement is occurring presumably. I mean, let me look at it. I can look at it right here. Presumably, it's occurring on a rigid body physics level, which is a fixed update. So maybe I could just fake it and somehow. Let's see. First person movement, rigid body. Your component, rigid body velocity. Yeah, so it's literally you're physically setting the rigid body's velocities. So these changes are occurring at a fixed update, and the camera changes are occurring at an update frequency. So it's a disconnect between the two, which is why you get those sometimes real short jumps and then nice consistent real short jumps, nice consistent follow that pattern. So it's just gonna be a matter of
Shit, why does the letting go, I turned mine back to a regular update and it's still doing the thing where it like zooms me off if I let go in that order. Was that always there and I just never...
Probably just didn't realize it. It might just be it's happening to you even when you're slow, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure what is making it. I'm holding...
Because I don't have that issue at all. Like
What
when I'm
is making that
slow, it
happen?
doesn't. It only happens when
Did I not save? I
if
didn't
I'm
save.
really
I didn't
moving
save. I didn't
quickly.
save. That's
Okay.
That's fine. That's fine. So I don't think that was happening before.
We might be able to mess with that too, because although I think the Barracuda runs on its own little job system.
It actually does happen a little bit, but it's hardly noticeable.
Minor, yeah, you can't really tell. So I think the Barracuda stuff does happen as part of like the job system slightly, but I think I might be able to make it even more efficient. I need to figure that out. But that's basically the classifier does cause a frame rate drop. Like if you go to the
yeah, I think you showed me before the
analysis. Right now it's running at 60 FPS basically, and then when I classify, it spikes up to below 30 for a second for a single frame. That's, yeah, basically player loop. It's in player end of frame, It's because it's a coroutine to classify, and it's okay. So that's not in the job system. So if I move that over to the job system, then that would probably fix it.
Right on.
Move it onto a separate thread, because that's not part of a coroutine, not part of a job. So I know the thing itself is a job, but I think like the Barracuda itself works in the job system, but I think that's what those workers are. But I think I'm waiting for it in a coroutine. So because I'm waiting for it, it doesn't actually work.
Right. So it should just be putting these things on the same thread or something. You said on.
I basically need to move it to its own, or move the thing that waits and classifies to its own thread, so that it only returns when that thread is done. Basically, I'll have to figure out how to do it, but I believe it can be done and made more efficient.
Right on. Alright, I gotta go to bed.
Alright, good night.
Catch you later.